Oh yeah, to Asalamaylekum. Again, peace to you. And again, that's redundant. 2 points that I missed and didn't address, and I feel I should. One, how important are the Ten Commandments? In a way, extremely important in the identity of the Orthodox, right? Especially that second one, the graven image thing, the idolatry, because of our extreme avoidance of idolatry and our understanding of that commandment, because there's obviously the entirety of Leviticus is about liturgical worship with the liturgical cyclical life, worshiping with images and venerating them, but also because of the seventh and final ecumenical council, Second Nicaea, which said, yes, veneration of images is throughout the Old and New Testament, but one must never, ever, ever make an image of the Father, because the Father is spatially non-available, ineffable, unknowable. We can only say negative things about him. The only positive thing is we can say God is love, right? So there's no depiction of him. That is why when the West, at least during the Renaissance, depicted the Father as Zeus, that's a big one, right? The Holy Spirit can be alluded to in the image of the dove, because that was revealed, or in fire. But even the uncreated light, notice it's always depicted as jet black, because it's uncreated. God stands at the beginning and the end of time and space. He is outside of the universe. And point number two, the Noahide laws do not appear in Genesis. The first time they appear is in the book of Acts. And those are the rules that James lays down for the Gentiles and how they should act. And this is one of the ways that historians and archaeologists know that there was a commingling between the Pharisees of the Christians and the Pharisee sect that would later become what we know as rabbinical Judaism. And there's other things as well. I mean, they even have a prayer that's attributed to St. Peter, that they even recognize as attributed to St. Peter. But yeah, the Noahide laws don't appear in Jewish literature until about the 500s. And the first place they're known of is in the book of Acts, and then continually quoted by the early Christians. So we know there was the distinction between Judaism and Christianity was not that clear for longer than people would like to think. You know, it wasn't just a decade or so, it was centuries, and in some places it was much, much longer. It was not until the rabbis and the bishops said, stop not messing around, you know, like in the 5th and 6th centuries, that really the commingling, I should say, stopped. Yeah, as an aside, this is why, with us being so familiar and the idea of logos and the existing one being so prevalent and relevant, and the oneness of God, this is why Taoism and Zoroastrianism, you could see that those two we're very comfortable with those two religions, even more so than Judaism, especially modern day rabbinical Judaism, or Islam. But there's some things in the Quran that they lifted wholeheartedly from the hymns, which is fine. But Tao and Logos are basically the same concept and same word if you look them up. It just doesn't mean word. Logos has a whole other, when it's meant in the Greek philosophical sense, it's basically the Tao. And as for Ahura Mazda, that's a better description. I wish the Western Christians would learn about Ahura Mazda before they get these strange ideas of reading the deeply mystical texts of the Tanakh and the Torah. Peace to you. Oh, and mercy. I don't know how you could call yourself a Christian if you do not have mercy. That's obviously essential in orthopraxis, is mercy. How is that expressed and this and that, case by case basis maybe, but I'd say a Christian must be merciful in order to call himself or herself a Christian. That's my own personal belief, not really speaking for the Orthodox Church, but I believe they would agree, or we would agree, I should say. Peace to you.